Kobe Lockett, the father of five-star wide receiver Kaliq Lockett, is here today on the Five-Star Flex to talk about his son's commitment to Texas, why he committed, the quarterback room and how that affected his commitment, and some of the misconceptions that people may have had about Kaliq. He wants to clear up on the Five-Star Flex. Kobe Lockett is in the building. Kobe, what's up, big dog?
How you doing, Duke? Long time no see, man.
Man, for sure, man. It's been a while. Some things have changed since I seen you last. I
Right.
see you got that burnt orange on.
Yeah, man. We hooking them around here, man.
For sure. So let's go into that decision.
Yeah.
What was the moment that you knew that Texas was the school for Kaliq?
I guess the moment that I knew, this whole thing is built on relationships, man.
Right.
And not to discredit any school that recruited Kaliq, because we built very good relationships with them all. But Chris Gilbert, with Texas, the conversations that him and I have had and our interactions, he was really the catalyst, man, at the end of the day. Because he's a person that he's knowledgeable about football.
Right.
He's knowledgeable about the process.
Right.
And then he can remove himself from that role and be human with you. I mean, he can relate to you from a human perspective, a family perspective, man. And it's not just Chris. The whole Texas staff makes the environment feel like a family.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
When the decision was made, who was the first person that y'all called on the Texas staff to let them know that you were coming?
Coach Jackson.
Okay. What was his reaction?
He was happy. But
I bet he was.
At the end of the day, he was happy, but the crazy thing is Sarkeesian hit us, man.
Yeah.
And Kaliq was able to tell him.
Oh, wow.
And his reaction confirmed that we made the right decision for Kaliq.
That's nice.
Yeah.
So speaking of Sark, what did he say that set him apart from the rest of the head coaches when it came to relationship building when he was recruiting Kaliq?
That is a great question, man. It was a time that Kaliq's peers were getting offers.
Okay.
Some of his peers got Texas offers.
Right.
And Kaliq was slightly disappointed in his process that Texas didn't come when he felt like they should have came.
Okay.
On our official visit, the conversation came up. And Coach Sarkeesian made a statement that stuck with me as a father and as a man, and just being realistic, man. And what he said was, Kaliq, just like you are trying to figure out what's the best fit for you, we do the same thing. Just because you play football real good doesn't mean you're a fit here.
Okay.
We want to know everything about your family, you, how you move, how you act. Is that a fit for us as well? Right. And that, for me, was the determining factor in saying, okay, Kaliq, if this is your school, I agree.
I like that.
Because even on the visits, man, Texas is not a school that strokes your ego.
Okay.
It's not staff that does that.
Okay.
They take care of their people, but they don't stroke your ego. You have to earn everything. Not saying other schools don't, but it's obvious at Texas. They lay out the foundation, what they see for you, how they plan to use you. And then after they break that down, the rest goes back to having a relationship. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, what I was going to say, I was going to dig into that a little bit as far as how they wanted to use Kaliq. What do they say about the way that they want to implement or kind of incorporate Kaliq's talents into that offense?
Well, first, Duke, let me say this.
Okay.
Kaliq wants to play as a freshman, right?
Right.
That's a tough task for any freshman.
Right.
And it doesn't necessarily come from an athletic ability. A lot of these kids are physically able to play as freshmen.
Right.
But you got to know the playbook, got to know the installs, right?
Yeah.
You can't forget. You have to have a photographic memory.
Right.
They can't keep telling you the same thing over and over again. You got to get it, bro.
Right.
The fact that it's that way, right? First, Kaliq knows that if he can grasp those things, the way they plan to use Kaliq is all over the field. Bounce inside, you know what I mean? They're gonna move him a lot of different places.
Oh wow.
And now it's the draw for Kaliq.
Right. I like that a lot because when you look at Kaliq's skill set, he's not a one-dimensional player at all. He can give you a little bit of everything. When you see him in traffic, he's really good with the ball in his hands. He's really good at going up to go get the ball. And he's also a guy that you can run tunnel and bubble screens to. He can make it happen by himself almost. So when you think about that with what Texas brings, it's like a match made in heaven.
Yes, I agree.
How much did Texas's quarterback room play into Kaliq's decision?
Okay, so listen, dude, it's funny you asked that question, right? So as you go through this recruiting things, there are other factors, right? It has to be a fit for both sides, right? So you see what the academics are, which is an important factor because we want our children to have degrees, right? To fall back on. You want to know that you are dealing with men that they don't look at your child as just a commodity, right? We're sending them off to be schooled.
Right.
I prefer men of integrity, men that Kaliq can extend manhood to my son since he's not with me.
Right.
For Kaliq, I was able to say, Kaliq, listen, man, we didn't factor this in the beginning, but listen to the added benefit. By the time you get there, Manning will be the quarterback. To have Manning throwing you passes, man, is huge.
Right.
So this is the benefit that you didn't factor in the beginning.
Right.
But you can't look over it, bro. It's a good situation to be in.
No, absolutely. I mean, when you talk about not even just Arch himself, but everything that comes with Arch, the Manning family, being a part of that network, right?
Man, it's huge.
For sure. All right, speaking of Arch Manning, Arch is one of the guys who's probably has one of the most recognizable names in college football, which brings me to NIL.
Okay.
So you hear all the stuff about, oh, well, Texas just got the bag and the collective can just pay for whatever guy they want. Speaking of you, NIL was one of the least talked about factors every time we talked about Kaliq's recruitment. What was it like to be able to block all of the noise out about NIL and make sure Kaliq kept the main thing?
Okay, that's a good question, Duke. For my son, Kaliq would play football for free. Because he loves football.
Right.
But because football is a violent sport where you can be hurt and never play again, you have to be realistic, right? So as his dad and as parents, you want the best situation for your child for long term, right?
Right.
So for me, before all that, it was about the relationship.
There we go.
You see what I'm saying? It's like, what's the use of having money? Someone's paying me money and I don't like them.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It has to be, everything has to match. You know what I mean? What's the use of having a job that pays you 6 figures, but you hate going every day? It makes no sense.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So the money it's a factor, but it's the end. It's the end of it, man. And you know, a lot of people assume that it's always about the money, but for me, and just speaking to the public and fans that don't get to see what goes on behind the scenes, is that these kids, these high school recruits are people. They have feelings. The coaches are people. They have feelings. So over time, you got a kid that loves 6 coaches at 6 different schools.
Right.
They all good dudes. They all treat them right. They all love him. So now you got this 16, 17-year-old at home that don't want to hurt any of them, but he has to choose one.
Only one.
You see what I'm saying? Think of the pressure that is on the kid, bro. And then you got people thinking that it's all about dollars. It's not.
Right.
It's not. I know my own experience and my own talking to other parents and kids. These kids have genuine love and respect for many of these coaches, man.
I'm glad to hear that too, because I think the resounding majority of people, when somebody doesn't go to the school that they want them to go to, so they just threw the bag at them.
Right.
But I'm glad you were able to kind of voice that and say, hey man, like, yeah, of course it's a part of it now, but at the end of the day, that's not the end all be all.
No, it's not.
So another part of Kaliq's recruitment was also going to be staying close. How big is it for Kaliq to be in Austin and you guys being in Dallas?
Man, you know, as his dad, Kaliq is like, he's not only my son, he's my partner, man. And I have a lot of fun with my son.
Right.
But I wasn't opposed, and I tried to instill in him, he can't be scared. He was prepared to go abroad.
Okay.
But you don't know what the future holds in recruiting because it's in flux all the time.
Right. Right.
It don't stay the same. You like today, you like this school, visited tomorrow, this other school, the next weekend, the other school did something. So, you know, I taught him, bro, one day you probably be in the NFL. You can't be scared. If you got to play in Buffalo, homie, it's Buffalo. Right. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Vegas is Las Vegas. And in the pros, you can't choose.
Right.
But it's huge for him and myself and my wife, his mom, that he's in Austin. And we thank Coach Sarkeesian for making that happen for us.
No, I think that's awesome, man. So I was reading some of the message boards, and I check in on certain situations, and I saw guys saying that Kaliq didn't. There was a rumor or something like where they were saying Kaliq ain't gonna go to this school because he doesn't want to compete for the #1 job, or they got this other receiver coming in. Can you kind of talk to me about that and clear the air on that? Because from everything I know that he's a competitor. So talk to me about that.
Well, I think I know what you're talking about. At one moment, they were saying because DeCorian Moore and Jamie French were possibly looking to go to Texas, that would detour Kaliq. But what people don't understand is that Kaliq respects DeCorian. That's his homie, man, and Jamie. That they all friends, bro. Well, for Kaliq anyway, he's friends with both of those guys, and he welcomed whether they went to Texas or not. He was going to go where he wanted to go, but them going there was not a them going or not going was not a determining factor. If they would have went, he still would have went. You know what I mean?
Right. Right.
So just to silence those rumors, he wanted to play with DeCorian. He wants to play with Jamie French. He's a competitor, man, and he knew that they would make him better and he would make them better.
Now, and it's interesting that you say that because the wide receiver room at Texas is loaded anyway. Like it ain't like when he gets there, it's going to be a ton of competition. Like
the NFL is loaded with receivers.
There we go.
What do you think the NFL is? It's going to come a time you got to compete, man.
Right.
College is where it starts. So who's you're not going to be successful scared that other great receivers are in your wide receiver room. You might as well quit.
Yeah, no, absolutely right.
Dude, I want to tell you before you go, man, something, bro.
All right.
I think on 3, they have someone valuable in you.
Hey, man, I appreciate it.
Show, man. I tune in all the time. You're very entertaining. You bring the best out of your guests. You make it real comfortable and fun, man. And it's always a pleasure to talk to you, bro. Man,
Kobe, man, that means a lot, man. I think as far as just what we do as fathers, being able to get on here and relate and, not only just talk about it from a football perspective, but from a fatherhood perspective, man, it means a lot. And so coming from you, man, I appreciate it, man. I think in our community, it's important for us to be able to link. You feel what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
And share games. So, no, I appreciate it, dog. And I just want to say to you, man, you did a heck of a job with Kaliq. And shoot, man, Texas ain't just getting a heck of a player. They're getting a heck of a family.
Man, thank you, dude, man. Thank you so much, man. It's a compliment, bro.
Hey, matter of fact, where is Kaliq? All right, before we get out of here, I got Kobe Lockett and Kaliq Lockett. Do we have a message for college football right now from the Locketts?
Ain't no flipping over here, baby.
Hey.
You already know. You hear
me? Let's go, man. Hey, man, it's been a pleasure, man. Appreciate you guys.
I'll see you, dude.
Already.